It was an awesome experience, having experienced it in Bombay in the middle of this active, busy life.
Well, I think it was really nice today, the mix of having Radhanath Swami and also the Jeevan Mukti group together.
Of course, the best part was Radhanath Swami's discourse and his mantra chanting.
Mantra comes from the Sanskrit word man, which means mind, and trayate, which means to deliver. To deliver the mind from the stresses, the anxieties, which are all born from illusions.
Radhanath Swami really manages to touch everybody's heart, and that's something I think that's very rare.
Truly outstanding. Leaving, rather, I'd say.
This was a very wonderful event.
I'd definitely love to come again.
All of us, in our own little way, if this seminar, the world will be a better place to live.
It's my honor and my great pleasure to be with all of you this evening. Thank you, Sharon and Jules, for your wonderful, devotional, brilliant offering to everyone here. In this world, people want to be with great people. People want to be great. But the Gita tells Yanisha Sarvabhutanam that what is the daytime for the ordinary people is the sleeping time for the self-realized. And the opposite also. In other words, the material conception and the spiritual conceptions we see through a different lens. What is our values? Unfortunately, in this Kali Yuga, greatness is considered how much money we have, how much power we have, how many degrees we have from college, how many achievements we have done in our society. But this has nothing to do with the soul. And because this is the standard of greatness, these types of relative matters that are based on our ahankar, our ego, there's always frustration and distress. There cannot be satisfaction of the heart. What does the great scriptures of the world and the true acharyas say is greatness? Srila Prabhupada quoted many verses and summarized them to say a person's greatness should be estimated by how we are able to tolerate provoking situations. That is greatness. What is a provoking situation? There are so many. Selfish lust is a provoking situation. Krishna tells in Gita, it burns like fire. It can never be satisfied, no matter how much we get. Greed is a provoking situation. Anger, envy, arrogance, illusion. In the world around us, we're provoked in so many ways. Traffic jams are provoking situations. I think some of us had that provocation recently. Sometimes what government people do are provoking situations. Sometimes what our husband or our wife or our friends or our brothers or our sisters, how they deal with us is very provoking. And they can make us very angry. They can make us hateful. They can make us selfish and passionate. In the second chapter of Gita, it is said, Matra sparashas tu konteya sitos na sukadukana. Agama payano nityasthams tadekshasva bharat. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, honor, dishonor, pleasure, pain, success, victory, honor, dishonor. As Sharon was saying, they come and go like the winter and summer seasons. And they'll always be coming and going. It's the nature of this world. One who learns to tolerate them without being disturbed is a great person. But how to do that? In the same second chapter of Gita, Krishna tells Apuryamanama Chalapartishtam. The ocean is so big and so full. During the rainy season, so many hundreds of rivers are coming into the ocean, and they're miles wide. Billions of liters of water are flowing in every hour. And during the dry season, some of the rivers dry up and hardly anything trickles into the ocean. But the ocean doesn't get bigger in the rainy season. It doesn't get smaller in the dry season. Why? Because of its own fullness. The little puddle of water, you just pour some water comes into it and it overfloods the puddle. If nothing comes into it, within a few hours it dries up because there's little substance. Similarly, when we find that fullness of satisfaction, of meaning within our own hearts, then all the provoking situations of this world don't really bother us. We can tolerate them sustainably because we're experiencing ananda. The Gita is telling us that one who finds their joy and happiness within is a person of actual intelligence. Otherwise, our minds are practically slaves of circumstances. Our happiness happiness is completely depending on circumstances. And some circumstances we can control, but most circumstances we cannot control. And when we get in the habit of being the controller, we're actually vulnerable to the most frustration. A humble person is not really frustrated so much, because a humble person, as Sharon and Jules were saying, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Krishna, I'm yours, we let go. But one who really is, due to arrogance, depending on their happiness of how we control situations, when it goes out of our control, it's really frustrating. But how do we do that? Vishayava nivartante niraharasya dehena rasa parachamanasokhyasya param drisparivartate. When we experience something higher, and that higher experience is within ourselves, that is the purpose of yoga. Yes, yoga helps us to become free from stress, but by leading us deeper and deeper into the truth of our love for God that's within our heart. The Atma, the soul, is compared to a lotus flower. The lotus leaf can be even the muddiest, most polluted place, but it always remains completely pure and clean. When we're connected to the Atma, the Jiva, the soul, then even the muddiest situations of this world, we're always pure. We're not affected. When we have deep compassion for others, our own problems don't really matter that much. But if we don't have that compassion for others, our own problems can be so overwhelming. They can thrust us into depression, or anger, or envy, hatred, and we can do such crazy things that's harmful to ourselves, the environment, the world, and people. Yoga teaches us positive alternatives, how to tune in once again to the real happiness that's within us, how to harmonize the body and the mind with the Jiva, the soul. And Jiva Mukti is when the soul harmonizes with God, with Krishna, the Supreme, the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. And through that, we learn to harmonize with all other living beings who are eternal souls and with the environment. All the true great yoga masters over the millenniums were simply leading us to this self-realization. Having a healthy body is nice, but in a few years it's going to get old and it's going to become decrepit no matter how much asanas we do, and we're going to die. And they're going to put us on... I was recently in New York, and a very prominent doctor from India, he said, I grew up with a saying that whether you're a billionaire or whether you're living in the streets, when they put your body on a funeral pyre, they wrap you in sheets, and those sheets don't have pockets. Death is an equalizer. It's the ashes of a rich man or a poor man, a male or a female. Whatever our complexion, whatever our nationality, whatever our species, the ashes are the same. And it's coming real soon. So what really is the purpose of yoga? Yes, we want a strong physical body and a healthy life, and we want a clear mind. But the great sages and yogis and rishis, they're leading us to something beyond a little flash of time for that. They're leading us to mukti, liberation. Liberation from suffering forever. And in the Vaishnava tradition, that liberation of suffering forever is just the start. Far greater, far more satisfying than shanti, peace, is prema or love. Divine love, eternal love, ever-increasing love. That's what Bhagavad Gita is teaching. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching. That is what we are meant to be. Connected to that love that's within us that is forever and is forever, ever increasing. Krishna means the all-attractive one, who is the supreme ultimate object of everyone's love, and he has many names and different traditions. To connect with that love, the unlimited love that Bhagavan has for us, and to be an instrument of that love in everything we do. That's compassion. That's our potential. That's what every true yogi, sage, rishi, and acharya has been leading us toward through the process of yoga. It may be gradual, it may be more direct, but according to who we are and what our conditionings, our samskaras, we're being led toward the most wonderful spiritual experience. Mantra comes from the Sanskrit word man, which means mind, and trayate, which means to deliver. To deliver the mind from the stresses, the anxieties, which are all born from illusions. If we don't become liberated from the illusion, our stresses and anxieties are imminent. Even if we become peaceful for a moment, they're going to keep coming back, these stresses and anxieties, unless we go to the root cause, the illusion. And when that illusion is removed, then we wake up to our true nature. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to sing a beautiful song before his kirtan. Jeev jago, Goda Chandra Pole, Kota Nidra Jayo Maya Pisa Chirakole. Wake up, sleeping souls, wake up. The mantra is meant simply to wake us up. We're spiritually asleep. We've forgotten our real potential, who we are, what real happiness is, and where it is. The mantra invokes the awakening of the soul. Srila Prabhupada gave a beautiful analogy. If I can tell a little story. Sometimes we take analogies more seriously when we remember them in provoking situations. was in a place in Bengal called Mayapur. It's in the 9 islands of Navadvip. And I was just at an international meeting. And these meetings are more managerial, administrative kind of meetings, and that's not really my nature, so it's very provoking and stressful, so I try to find that ocean in me during those meetings. And I chant a lot of mantras. When I came out of the meeting, it was kind of nighttime. And I just wanted to rest and chant. And I get, somebody comes running into my room with a cell phone. And they say, there's somebody who wants to talk to you from New York. So, okay. It's the senior editor-in-chief of Penguin Books. And she said to me, I read your book, The Journey Home, and I want you to write a book for Penguin Books. And then she said something. She said, I'm not the editor-in-chief of Penguin simply to make money. I can make money anywhere. I want to educate human society and uplift their consciousness. She said there is a very serious deficiency in the mainstream bookstores of the West. There are books of traditional Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Judaism. There is no traditional books in mainstream of the West bookstores for Hinduism. And I named a couple authors who were very famous. She said they are not traditional, they are New Age. People need to understand the tradition of Hinduism. And she said, and I know a lot because I've studied for years, she was saying, there's a lot of different denominations and branches of Hinduism, but we have to get something pure and traditional into the main line of the American book market. She said, after reading Journey Home, I think you might be the person to do it, but I have to test you. And I'm going to test you right now. And when I give you my question, you have 2 minutes to fully answer the question. She said, I want this answer to be for a person who knows nothing about yoga, who's never met a Hare Krishna. I want you to tell, what is your philosophy? What is your teachings? What is the goal of your teachings? And how to achieve that goal. And what happens when it happens. You have 2 minutes to explain all of this to a middle-class American housewife who knows nothing about your teachings. Start now. I just came from 8 hours of meetings. My mind turned off. I just wanted to chant mantras. And to tell you the truth, I really couldn't care less about writing another book. It meant nothing to me. But I was just thinking, if I'm meant to do this, then God will give me words. And if I'm not meant to, then He's not going to give me any words. And right now, He's not giving me any words. So I prayed to my Guru, Srila Prabhupada, if you want me to write a book like this, then please tell me what I'm supposed to tell this lady. I was saying this silently. I was taking up some time, too. I was thinking much faster than I'm talking to you now. And I just said that little prayer. And suddenly a flash came in my mind of something I heard my Guru Maharaj say back in 1971. And I just spoke those words. He said, when a drop of water falls from a cloud, it's pure, it's transparent. But when it comes to the ground and it mixes with dirt and mixes with sewage, it loses its transparency. It becomes polluted in a sense. But if we filter the water, we bring it back to its original, natural, transparent quality. So similarly, original, every soul is pure. Every soul has the potential to be Satchit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. And that bliss is our love for God. And when we love God, it's like pouring water on the root of the tree. It naturally extends to every part of the tree. When we awaken our love for Krishna within ourselves, that love extends to every living being. It extends to the whole creation. That's what everybody's looking for. But somehow or other, our minds have been so polluted by lust and envy and anger and greed and arrogance and selfishness and illusion. And this chanting of mantra, this practice of bhakti, this living a life of dharma, is like the process of filtering our consciousness and bringing it back to its natural condition. And that's where our true happiness is. She immediately said, "You are the one to write this book." I was thinking, my guru should write the book because I just quoted exactly what he said. From that, the journey within was written. But this is the effect of a mantra. It awakens our original spiritual nature. It awakens our love. And within that prema, that love, is the highest, deepest peace. It's like an ocean that has no bottom and has no shores. It's limitless because it's God's love. This is how mantras act to rise us above provoking situations by awakening true happiness. There are many mantras the Vedic literatures describe. Some are hymns, some are prayers, some are just bijams, seed syllables with a divine sound vibration. And most of the great mantras of the Vedas include the holy names of God. Sri Chaitanya prayed Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarava Shaktis. There are many names of God, and therefore there are many mantras. And each of these names have contained the presence of God, the power of God's grace, the beauty of God, the sweetness of God. We can access those through these mantras. For the greatest blessing, Chaito Darabana Marajanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. By chanting these mantras, we filter our consciousness, we purify it, and awaken the joy within us. And therefore, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. These mantras are the greatest benediction to all humanity. The real wealth of love, of joy, can be accessed through the chanting of these mantras, through the meditating on these mantras. In the Kalisantarana Upanishad, which was beautifully translated and published into English by His Grace Srinathji Prabhu, Keshav Prabhu's father, Krishna's grandfather, our MC hostess, Namamrita Devi's father-in-law. There's a beautiful verse in this Upanishad. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Sodashakam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nashana. It means in this age of Kali, the type of illusion, the type of forgetfulness that has engulfed this human society is very severe. Not just any mantra could really have the effect of awakening that divine love in this emergency time of Kali Yuga. But there's a particular medicine, the Kalisantarana Upanishad says, that is especially powerful in this age of Kali. And that is this 32-syllable, 16-word mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And therefore it is called Maha Mantra. And the great Bhakti saints, they have told that this mantra includes all other mantras. We could chant many different names of God to attain perfection. Sri Chaitanya especially recommended this mantra for its effectiveness at these times. Yes, it can bring freedom from stress. It can bring reduction of anxiety. It can help us out of depression. It can give us a clear mind to do our work, to have our interrelations. If we chant it in certain ways, it can awaken various mystical, supernatural powers. But that's not the real purpose of these mantras. The real purpose is to cleanse the heart, to awaken the ecstasy of love that's within us. And whatever we do, we may be in real estate, business, hardware or software engineers. We may be yoga teachers, scientists, educators, housewives, students. We may be monks or swamis. That's all external. But through the chanting of these mantras and the awakening of our hearts, the love of our hearts, then whatever we do is not with the need of getting stuff, but the joy of giving that love to every aspect of our life. Thank you very much.